Hey everybody, welcome to the Slick Tree Podcast. I'm your host, Colby Langford. The point of this show is to help improve ourselves as dogmen and to raise the quality of the dogs on the end of our lead. So let's settle in, turn the volume up, and let's see if we can't learn a trick or two together from our guests.
Well, let me tell you about Spike. Spike to me he knows how to win. That dog is a winner, man. I've had dogs that were good, but they didn't have that win like this dog does. I've seen this dog just make it happen, and you can hunt him with an ice storm. I've drew him out in ice storms. I've seen tree squirrels every single time. But we was in a cast. I think I was judging a final cast with Spike, and that dude was down, I think, two squirrels, and we had about 12 minutes to go on the cast. And this dog treated three squirrels just bam, bam, bam. It's just like it's amazing. That dog knows how to win. I've never seen anything like it in my life. I need to get a pup off of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he just amazing dog. Gary Mitchell he knows how to train a dog. I wish I could get him to hunt my pup for about 6 weeks. Get him like Spike.
Yeah.
That LBK group, man, them guys and their dogs, when they come to the hunts, you got to deal with either one or all of them in the finals every time.
Yeah, they got it. They've always got dogs.
Well, Spike, I've watched that dog since he was, I think Gary started bringing him to our hunts when he was probably 13, 14 months old. And Mike Rush had a litter mate pup, and they both were just phenomenal dogs, and you just couldn't beat them dogs. And when they're 14 months old, they can win anything around. But now Spike, I think Spike's probably 4.5, and I don't know if but he's now in the stud pen, but I'm glad he's in the stud pen because I can't beat the dog. But that dog, he's just an amazing dog. He, like I said before, that dog, he knows how to cut it off. He knows how to win. That dog knows what to do to win. I've never seen it's like that dog is like half human. Gary has done a phenomenal job with that dog. If you're in a cast, that dog, your dog is treed. There's times you think, oh, he just grabbed a tree. Shoot, walk up there, that dude's got a squirrel in the tree. I've seen him go 4 for 4, 6 for 6. He knows how to win. He's beat me so many darn times. And he's got D handling now, and you can't ask for a better handler and a guy to learn from. I've learned so much from D and Mike Rush. Them guys are awesome.
They're a good group, that's no doubt.
Yeah, they are. They're good guys.
Yep. Well, everybody, welcome back to the Slick Tree Podcast. I'm your host, Colby Langford, and today we have Ricky Merrill on the phone with me here. How you doing today, Ricky?
I am doing great.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on here. Today's topic that we're going to be talking about is handlers and basically trying to help people out that might be getting into comp hunting and kind of give a handler school on some do's and don'ts and kind of give you an idea of what some of the good things that can happen are and some of the bad things. Let's start off with tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into dogs, Ricky.
My name's Ricky Merrill. I'm from OK, Oklahoma, big town. You blink, you miss it. Got into it with my dad and my grandfather. My grandfather, it's kind of a family tradition. We've always were coon hunters, coon hunted all over the country. My dad always had a dog in my hands. And if we weren't hunting, we was fishing too. So I just now getting where my kids are getting more involved into it, trying to keep them into it. But they're kind of at that teenage part of their life where it ain't quite as fun as it was when they were little. So now I'm working on my 4-year-old nephew, so I got to go leave. I'm going next weekend to pick him up his first pup.
Nice.
But just to keep it that family tradition, I got to get them kids and keep it going. One of these days I'm not going to be around here because I enjoy running a dog. But getting into squirrel hunting, I was always a coon hunter. I started having kids, getting married, have kids, that all the good stuff, and working all the time. It's hard to hunt all night long, 5 days a week, keep the dog in, get in shape, or keep them ready for a hunt or anything like that. And kind of quit for a few years. And one day my dad called me and said, "Hey, why don't you get into squirrel hunting? Get us a squirrel dog. Start taking your boys squirrel hunting. They're 5, 6 years old now. They need to go introduce in the woods." So I think he got on Craigslist and bought a dog for $75 from somebody, and he said, "Oh, tree squirrels. Let's go see if it's tree squirrels." We cut it loose. She treed 4 squirrels, just bam, 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 and we were hooked. Couldn't believe this dog was $75, and it's been a roller coaster since.
Sounds like fun. Whatever happened to that dog?
Echo was she never would come in heat or nothing like that. She was a phenomenal dog. I hunted her one hunt. That's the first hunt I ever done a squirrel hunt with, and it was a NKC state hunt in McAlester, Oklahoma. And she did not do good that day, but she was a good squirrel dog. Treat a lot of squirrels, got my kids involved. She got where she's getting old, and I could not watch her die. And she still had another year or two left, and I gave her to a kid in McAlester get into hunting so they could train some dogs with, because I knew her time was coming, and she was one that kind of got me hooked, trained me a few dogs up, and that's when I got Stormy.
Mm-hmm.
And Stormy was a little bit more of a dog. When he was 2 years old, he could win. He won a lot of hunts when he was two. Then he started getting all those tick diseases. He just slowed down on. When he got about 7 years old, he just he couldn't take it no more. He'd get hot on me, and you just couldn't hunt him when it was hot.
Yeah. Well, I can vouch for him winding a squirrel. I know he beat me on more than one cast by doing it.
Well, the last few years he started slowing down. He was a completely different dog. I mean, he'd still go tree a squirrel, but he just didn't have that competitive drive no more. He'd start checking up, and you remember that dog. You, if he weren't treed, he was going to be gone and stay treed. But as he got older, that just wasn't there no more. He'd come check in. He's ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
I've got rid of so many dogs or stuff like that, but now what I've learned is there's so many tick diseases these dogs get. You get a good vet, you can get a dog back. I've got rid of dogs thinking I burned them up, stuff like that, and somebody called me 6 months down the road and said, "Man, this is the best dog I ever owned. Why'd you get rid of it?" Well, it wouldn't hunt no more from me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, when it comes to comp hunts, if you could go back in time to when you were first getting going, what's a couple things you'd tell yourself that you'd need to know about it?
You need to know your dog, and you need to know the rules. And stay with the rules. Don't go around them. Don't let nobody try to get you to go around those rules, because rules are written for a reason.
Give me an example. Like, how would someone try to make you go around a rule? How could that happen in a cast?
Well, when I was a young man starting hunts, going coon hunts, squirrel hunts, whatever, when I was young, you'll have people say, "Hey, did you see that squirrel? You see that squirrel right there?" And they just keep patting. "Oh, he moved us over here. Move over here." Try to get you to plus it up, or let's say you're going into a tree and their dog moves over the distance to another tree, and try to talk you into not to minus their dog. Say, "Oh, it didn't, step it off." And some rules say it's so many feet, some so many steps. Depends on where you're hunting at. So you got a guy step say it's 30 steps, and his 30 steps, and I'm not a very tall guy, and he's, my 30 steps is a lot shorter than his. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of different things that happens in hunts. You, I've never been part of it because I've always stayed by the rules. Very laid back. Anybody that's ever hunted with me in a competition hunt, I'm probably more hard on myself and my dog than anything, because for me, I love hunting with other people, getting people involved. Anybody wants to go to competition hunt, wants to get into it, I ask them to come hunt. Come on a cast. This is what you got. This is what you're going to hunt against in these hunts. These dogs these days are not just pleasure dogs going to hunt. These high-powered competition dogs you're hunting against, these dogs are going to get it done. You're going to walk some miles some days. So I'm always inviting people to go.
Yeah, no, I can definitely vouch for you there too. I know that whenever I met you, you and your dad, Troy Bates, were putting on and still are putting on NSD hunts out of OK, and the first couple times I drew you, I felt like it was more of a getting coached on how to lose. For not your fault. You were trying to coach me is what you were doing. You did a really good job of it, and I appreciated it a lot. And and really most of the people that I've hunted against have been that way. But no, I appreciate the way you handled yourself, and you really did. You coached me.
Well, what did I tell you? And if you remember this right, I told you, I said, look, winning competitions, they come in like twos and threes. You'll win a few, and all of a sudden you won't win one for 6 months. What happened to you?
Yeah, yeah, I did all right. I had a good weekend, anyways.
And I knew you had the dog that could do it, and I think I've tried to buy it from you a few
Yeah,
times.
you tried a couple times. So in hindsight, I guess I should have sold him since he died on me.
Yeah, I'd have been pushing that dude in hunts. That dude knew how to get treed and do it right.
Yeah, he was a nice dog. That was my house dog. He was. I miss him. That's for sure. I've been trying to get another one like him, but I haven't found him yet.
It's hard to replace that one dog that got you started and got that fire in you. You know what I mean?
So you were saying that you need to know the rules. Why exactly does someone need to know the rules? Why wouldn't it be that the best dog's just going to win the hunt?
Well, the reason there's rules, and the rules can either work for you or a good handler can make it work against you. If you don't know the correct distance on a tree, on a split tree, let's say your dog, guy's dog that split treed from your dog that's in the rules state, if the dogs are split treed and they're within so many distances, it's considered one tree.
Mm-hmm.
But if the handler, that handler handling that dog knows that you don't know that, they might talk you into saying, hey, this is a split tree. So you might get the squirrel. He don't have a squirrel, or vice versa. He has a squirrel and you don't have a squirrel. Well, you're going to get circle points. He's going to get plus points. And and honestly, if your dog was the first tree, and that's actually one tree,
You
your
should be
dog
getting
gets
the
first
the,
three on the
the
plus
first the
points.
first plus points.
Exactly. And that dog would be second. So you got to know your rules because stuff like that happens.
Yeah. What can you tell me about dog aggression? Like, say you go to a hunt and you and Fido are going there for your first time, and you draw out with Joe Bob and Bingo, and get out there and dogs start getting growly. How do you think that normally should be handled?
Yeah, I think the rules how they're wrote. That I think it should be follow the rules. If a dog shows any kind of aggression, it needs to be warned. Does it again, the dog needs to be scratched. If you got a mean dog, it don't need to be in the hunts because people ruin dogs all the time by that. I don't. If I got a young pup at the house that I've been working with. He's my pride and joy, and I've been holding him back because of a mean dog I know around. And we as a group in competition hunts, we don't need rough dogs. It's ruined dogs, in my opinion. And some people like hunting a rough dog. Now, don't get me wrong. I like to hunt a dog that ain't gonna leave a tree or get ran off a tree, but I'm not gonna hunt a mean dog.
Yeah. The situation I saw one time was where I was hunting a dog, and it was not normally a dog aggressive dog. But I drew out, and it was the second round of a hunt, and it was a two dog cast. We had a judge, and then the two handlers was all that was on it. And we cut the dogs, and my dog went over and postured to the other one. And so we stopped it, and we split them up. And the other handler was okay with us trying to split them and going on. And we split them up 30 yards or so, and kind of tried to cast them in opposite directions. And my dog again ran right over there and started posturing to that other male dog. And I ended up having to withdraw the dog over it. Uh, but I mean, if a guy messed up and said scratch my dog, that's uh, what they might not know is that scratching a dog for dog aggression or fights will stay on that dog's permanent record. And I believe after so many of them, most registries, that dog's banned from the registry. So that just kind of goes back into knowing the rules and knowing how to call them off of it.
With I hunt with Haas so many times. I've never once seen an aggressive thing with Haas. Stormy was a hard tree dog. Haas was a hard tree dog. We've had them both tree a squirrel side by side. Never had that. Cur dogs are weird. They're smart, highly intelligent, but for some odd reason they have an itch in their back. One day they just liable to flip a switch. I've never seen anything like it, but
Yeah,
sometimes they're like,
yeah, and that was the thing. Like he'd only done it to that. That's the only dog he'd ever growled at, and he'd growled at him 2 or 3 times on different occasions. Just they'd never been hunted together before that day. But uh, I feel like a lot of times that could be handled. That cast and the way it went and the way just the whole situation was handled. It was handled very well, and I could see how people could try to push getting their dog or saying, "Oh, well, it's not my dog's fault; it's your dog's fault." Or uh, you hear a lot of horror stories about people not acting well in trying to win in different ways on casts. Uh, I personally haven't seen a whole lot of it. Uh, you going to more hunts, you've probably seen some people be ugly more. You ever seen anybody get a little sideways on a cast?
you know, and I'm gonna talk a little bit on your situation too. And how I personally would have handled it after how I would have personally probably handled it me if I'd have been judging your cast. I mean, I hate to say what I'd have done. That Haas would have been more right off the bat when he was growling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, then once he showed when he postured up to him and he was the aggressive one, he'd have been scratched. That's why the rules are there. Aggression's more than just posturing too. So
Mm-hmm.
space barking is aggression. A dog chasing a dog trying to ride them, that's aggression. Uh, there's a lot of different types of aggression. I'll tell you a situation with me, which I've had more than one situation happen to, but I'll give you an example for me is how we handle that situation is coming to the tree. Dog was split, excuse me, not split tree. The dog, I call my dog tree, dog tree. The dog left its tree to come to my dog's tree, and it made it to the 1 minute time to get points to get tree. And when we was walking to the tree, my dog was 25 feet back, 25 feet back from the tree, and other dog had his back to the tree and was barking at my dog. Wouldn't let my dog come to the tree. Warned that dog because it was handled. We grabbed the dogs, handled them real quick. There wasn't any growling or nothing, but that dog, if my dog tried to get that tree, he was barking in my dog's face trying to push him back off of it. So that dog was warned. My dog, and the rest of the hunt, they stayed away from each other. Didn't have any issue with that.
Mm-hmm. So a couple things I learned from, and I can't remember. This might have even came from you, but in hindsight of when my dog did that, we had rode together. So the dogs had been in 2 male dogs had been in the same dog box, separate holes, but they had vent holes in between in the divider, I think, and so that probably didn't do my dog any favors with the way he acted. And then whenever we walked in, we had to walk in quite a ways from where we parked to where we cast them at, and I didn't know any better, and I was just leading in right behind him, and basically making my dog sniff that other dog's butt the whole way in, and I think that probably didn't help any either. I think and you're just gonna have to learn some lessons like that if you start doing some comp hunting, as far as things that can cause issues and avoiding stuff like that.
Well, and that's why I like an independent dog. I want a dog that stays by itself, gets away from dogs, stay treed by himself, because I don't want to take that opportunity of dogs fighting at the tree, because it happens. And if you keep an independent dog that'll stay away, you're not going to have that problem. You're not going to have dog fights. But there's times you cast your dogs and they tree a squirrel just bam right there in front of you. It
Mm-hmm.
happens, but I like a dog that's independent, stays off by himself, just so I can keep away from that kind of issues.
Mm-hmm. Should should a person feel bad if they know the rules? What do you do if you tell someone they ought to minus their dog and they disagree with you? How should say I'm hunting and me and you were hunting against each other in cast, and your dog's treed, and we can see your dog over there, and your dog's visibly tree, and then go into searching around the tree, but milling around the tree. How would you handle that with? Because no one's out there just to argue with people and make people mad. But at the same time, how would you try to handle that?
So if it's my personal dog, anybody that's ever hunted with me, I'm pretty rough on mine. If he ain't got nails in the tree, I'm gonna minus him. But if somebody has a situation that they're not wanting their dog to get minus, and if you got a 3-dog cast, you're gonna vote. We're gonna vote. We're gonna talk about. We're gonna vote on it. Majority wins.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to handle any issue we have out in the woods. Don't want to bring it back to the clubhouse. It's I want it all handled right then and there.
So when you're out on a cast, do you carry one stopwatch, two stopwatches?
I carry 2 stopwatches because I hunt a lot of NSD,
Mm-hmm.
and you need to have 2 stopwatches. I use one for the tree time. I'll use one maybe for the entire hunt, or if I'm a judge and I've got 2 dogs going, I got to have 2 stopwatches. And Garmin now they're the new Garmin's. You got a stopwatch on it. And I keep a timer on her for the hunt time, and I love them new Garmin's, man.
Yeah.
I don't know which one you got now, but I got the newest one.
You got the 300. I've
I
still got
still
200i.
can't figure out the whole darn thing, but
Boys got it down.
oh yeah, it's just like my cell phone. I can't do the things they can do, but they sure got it down.
So how old were you when you started comp hunting, Ricky?
Man, I was little. My dad, he started taking me to coon hunts with him, spectating since I, could walk. I mean, that was the reason why he could go. He'd make that excuse to my mother. Oh, I'm trying to get him into it, and he'd take me and they'd drag me through them woods. He had his best friend he always coon hunted with lives in Wagner named Dennis Darr, and them guys would drag me through them woods. But I probably hunted my first competition hunt probably 7, 8 years old. And I was well trained by my dad because I went every time I could with him.
Yeah. Did you say your grandpa was a comp hunter?
My grandfather was a comp hunter. He hunted all the time too. He worked a lot, so he kind of, when I got to the age of hunting really hardcore, and he got too old, so he'd go pleasure hunting with me once in a great while. So he probably ain't done a comp hunt since the 80s, and he's passed away now, but he was a fun guy to hunt with.
Yeah. What kind of hounds were you guys hunting then?
Me and my dad always had a walker dog, but my grandfather, he didn't care what it was. It could have been a Chihuahua, but if it treed a coon, he was packing that dude. I've seen him hunt a coon hunt with a plot mixed with hound, mixed with bird dog, you name it. He didn't care what it was. If it treed a coon, he was taking it to the woods.
Did you guys run a lot of local hunts, or did you go to some bigger hunts, or?
My dad did. I always just did local hunts when I was younger, but my dad, he would do some bigger hunts. He won quite a few bigger hunts back in his time. But one weekend when Battle Breeze was big, I think Slam was the dog. I think he was a high-scoring Grand Night champion dog 2 nights in a row. And I might be lying. It might have been just one night, but I think it was 2 nights in a row. And that particular dog, he was 2 years old. My dad, every time he'd win a hunt with any of his dogs, I don't know why, but he'd get them home at the house in the garage. He'd go in the house, get a little piece of bologna, throw him some bologna for him to eat, kind of like a reward.
Mm-hmm.
Went to do it, come outside in the garage, and Slam was on the ground and having a seizure.
Mm.
And that kind of was one of the reasons what kind of got us out of coon hunting. Dad had paid a pretty good price on that dog. It kind of burned him.
Yeah. So what do you take to a comp hunt with you whenever you're getting ready to go? Leaving the truck when you walk off on a cast. What do you have on your person? What do you take?
I always have my Garmin on me. I have my Garmin. I have 2 stopwatches. I don't have a thermal, but that's next for me to get. I need to have one. That thing, watching people use those looking for their squirrels, they can find their squirrel in no time. You can tell if your dog's lying too. But I always have my stopwatches. I always carry a couple extra pins. I got one of those Dan's competition packs. That thing's full of stuff. But I'll have my 2 stopwatches, a couple of extra pins, a pair of binoculars, a laser, and I don't have a thermal yet, but I'm gonna get one.
You've been shopping for them. You know what model you're looking at?
No, whatever's cheap, whatever my wife will let me get.
There you go.
She's the real boss.
Yeah, yeah.
I've been fortunate lucky she allows me to go hunting all the time.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you do to prep your dog for a hunt?
I hunt my dogs when I'm not getting ready for a hunt, probably about 3 to 4 days a week. If I'm getting ready for a competition hunt, just a local club hunt, that's probably about all I'm gonna hunt. But if I'm going to Jamestown, the OMCBA World Hunt, I'm gonna hunt them every day. My dogs are gonna be ripped, in shape, and ready to go. I'm gonna have all the work done and ready before I go. I'm not gonna drive 10 hours to hunt. My dog not be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put them. I like to put a dog in a bad situation. I'll take a dog that's a Me Too dog and cut it loose on top of my dog just to make sure he can hold that pressure, do any kind of work I need to do to get him ready for that next hunt.
Yeah, you do anything different with their feeding schedule or anything like that when you're getting ready for a hunt?
So when I'm getting ready for a competition hunt, I'll bump up their protein on their feed. But like right now, it's hot, not getting hunted a lot. I feed them a lower protein food, but right now or excuse me, but before competition hunt, I feed mine a higher protein food. I'll even give them a lot of vitamin stuff. I keep stuff in my pack just in case if I make it to the next round, that dog needs a little bit of energy. I'll give him something to pep him up and to get him ready for the next round. And another thing I keep on me is a can of sardines.
Mm-hmm.
Got a lot of omega-3 in it. I'll give my dog a can of sardines in between the cast.
Yeah.
You don't want to feed them nothing big or heavy in between your casts because they'll get sick on you. So I'll give them a little can of sardines and give them a little bit of extra energy.
There you go. What's So what else you want to talk about when it comes to comp hunts, Ricky?
You need to know your dog in a competition hunt. You need to put your dog in situations while you're getting ready for a competition hunt. You need to put your dog in situations where it's going to see if it'll hold pressure. It's going to back another dog. If it's going to leave a tree, get it ready for your comp hunts. You'll be more successful if your dog's hunting right before you go to hunt. It's going to hunt right when you get to the hunt.
How should somebody handle themselves when they're on a cast, as far as helping search a tree and just in general, stuff like that?
You know, I personally, I'm going to give somebody, I'm going to help them 100%. I'm going to be that guy. If I'm going to another guy's dog's tree and he's treed, I'm going to beat on that tree with a log, whatever I need to do to help find his squirrel, because I want that help for me too. And I want to be known that, man, this guy's fair. He's going to help me and they're going to help me too. You don't want to be the guy that, I don't see that squirrel or coon. I don't see it in that tree. I'm a, I'm gonna minus it. I think it needs to be minus. We're gonna look the whole 5 minute search time. I'm gonna beat on it. I'm gonna help you 100%. I think everybody should. You've got people that won't. They'll just kind of turn their head, and you got to get a laser up there to point at it and get the squirrel to move or something. You can hit them in the eye with that laser. They'll move or looks. Oh, there he is.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing is too, for getting started in competition hunting, don't let somebody telling you and saying, "Oh, you see that squirrel right there? You see that squirrel move? Oh, that squirrel! I know that squirrel was there." Just keep on till you find, yeah, that squirrel was there. I've heard of people having that done to them.
Yeah. No, the comp hunts are a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed no more of the ones I've no more of the ones that I've been to than I have. I've really enjoyed the. It's pretty rare that you meet someone that's not, at least in the hunts I've been to, that isn't a really cool person. That's out. Don't take me wrong. People want to win. There's no one drives 4 hours wanting to lose whenever they go to a hunt. Uh, but for the most part, people aren't just out to give you a lesson and try to get you. But it's been a lot of fun, the ones I've been to.
Well, that's what kind of got me fired up with squirrel hunts. I've never been treated like I have with these squirrel hunts. These guys are awesome. I have never met a bad squirrel hunter. I mean, they're out there. I've heard stories, but I've never seen it. The group of guys I always hunt against with every week, they're great. The LBK guys come down and hunt against us, and they're hard to beat every time, if you can ever beat them. But we have a great time on our hunts, and it makes it so much. Makes you want to go hunt the next Saturday just so you can talk to the guys, have a good time, do it. The best dog wins, and we follow the rules. It's just a great time. I recommend people to get into it, especially with the group of guys. But you talk about Troy Bates. Troy Bates is one reason why I do these hunts here at the house. Because Troy loves doing them. Troy is probably one of the nicest and the best people I've ever met. He's taught me a lot in these hunts. I don't. It's just been it's a great time. These squirrel hunts are.
Usually some pretty good food and everything else too with those
Well,
ones you guys put on.
if you come to one of my hunts, my dad loves to cook, boy, and he will have some barbecue on there.
He's got some fine bologna.
He does. He still talks about your darn pickles.
Well, hopefully I got a dog worth bringing to a hunt this fall, and I can bring him some more pickles to have.
Well, you just come over here and hang out with us at least.
Oh, I know. I need to. It's life. Life kind of gets going sometimes. Especially, it's hard to take a day to go just watch some squirrel hunts when you don't have a dog in it. When you got a wife and two littles at home.
Right.
But I can justify it a little bit easier whenever I've got a dog. I'm at least hunting. But I do. I miss all you guys. That I wanted to come down a couple times last year and just it didn't ever work out. It seemed like every time I didn't have the squirrel hunt on the calendar, something else usually ended up coming up.
Well, I'm kind of in a situation now where my kids are all in high school and everybody plays sports. I've got 5 kids, and me and my wife, we're split up some weekends. She's in a softball tournament, maybe in Kansas City. I'm in a baseball tournament in Oklahoma City. I've kind of had to slow down a little bit. But I told her this year, I got a pup. I'm running. Let me run him.
Yeah. Why don't you tell us about what you got?
Man, I got a pup. I think he's now, what scout, 20 months old. He is out of Porcupine, Mountain Bud, and Stanley Hockenberry's female called 20K Kate. He was a fast natural starter. He was 6 months old. I was training squirrels with him, but he kind of had that confidence issue. He'd slam a hot squirrel, but he had a confidence on a layup squirrel or something in a den tree, something that's old track. He just, bark here and there on it. And it took me a few months to get him over that. Then I was going to take him to the Junior World Hunt OMCBA, and I got busy with a down at work, and had a young man live down the road from me. He'd get off the school bus, come grab Scout and hunt him for me. I showed him how I wanted him. If he acts like he's going to leave a tree, tingle him a little bit, stuff like that. And don't run my dog. And kid did great. This 14-year-old kid hunted my dog for me probably every day after he got out of school for about 30 days. And he calls me one day. He says, man, Scout won't leave my feet. Something's wrong with him. He didn't even hunt. He ain't acting like himself. He ain't tree nutting 2 days. Well, that ain't weird. I said, well, I get home from work. I'll check him out. He was acting fine and pain. I just said, well, I'm going to take him hunting. He went and made a little bit of a tree, kind of didn't tree very hard. And I said, man, something's going on with this pup. I said, Dad, I'm going to take him to the vet to see what's going on. They did a blood test on him, ended up having Arlequia. And the vet said he was probably about out of it, and we didn't end up putting him on any kind of antibiotics. And within about 2 weeks, he was back up and ready to go. And I get that day blood tested about every 6 months now, but he got over that little spot of it, and it's never bothered him. He did, I'm hunting him right now. If I wasn't talking right now, I'd probably be hunting him right now, but he don't bother him or nothing. But he's finally become a really good, nice dog. He's kind of your competition style type of dog. He's going to get gone. If another dog gets deep, he's going to get deeper. He's jealous. If your dog's treed, he's going to hunt hard to get treed. But he still has a few downfalls we're working on. He still wants a great wall on a cold track, kind of, throw a few barks here and there, take him a minute to lock down on a tree, or bark a couple times and move on. We're working on that, but he's almost there. I'm hoping by September he's ready.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't, that's one thing kind of kept me back from introducing him to the hunts is the dog. I got a lot of, I guess you say there's a lot of pride in that young dog. He's done such a great job, and when I bring him out, he's coming to win, and he might not be a winner. We'll see, but if he keeps doing what he's doing right now, he should put me in a winner circle a few times.
Nice.
I've got lucky with how natural he's been, and a lot of that's to me is genetics.
Mm-hmm.
And I started hunting against some LBK fellas, and they were kicking my butt with these Porcupine Mountain Bud dogs. I had to find me one. I didn't care what it cost, and I found one. As a matter of fact, how I found it is I drew out with Stanley Hockenberry in OMCBA World Hunt in Jamestown, Tennessee. And you talk about a cool guy, and started talking dogs with him and stuff like that. And he's like, man, I got this 20K Kate dog. Tell me all the stuff she's won. And I'm thinking about breeding her to Porcupine Mountain Bud. I said, you are? Can I get on a list for it? He said, well, yeah. He told me the price, deposit, and all that good stuff. I said, call me. Let me know when you need a deposit. And Stanley, he called me after when she got bred, seen the deposit, and went and picked him up, stayed a night with Stanley, went and ate dinner, and become pretty good friends with Stanley. And I even handled one of his dogs last year in about 5 or 6 hunts, and he's got some really nice dogs. And I got to go by next weekend to pick another pup up from him, which this pup is out of Alan Franklin's Demon Dog,
Mm-hmm.
and one of his 20K dogs that Stanley has. One of his jibs there at the house.
Gotcha.
I like the northern dogs. To me, they got better noses than what we have down here.
Wonder why that is, you think? You got a theory?
I do, but it's probably not right.
Well, let's hear it.
Well, just like 45 Mountain Bud up there, those guys, they don't have very many weeks or months like we have of good weather. They're liable to be hunting them dogs in 2 feet of snow to get a dog ready for a hunt.
Yeah.
So my theory is that's probably why they got better noses. Up there, they might be hunting a 30, 40 mile an hour wind, and that ain't nothing to their squirrels. If you have 20 mile an hour wind here at home, you might as well not cut loose. You're not going to tree nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of my theory, and I'm probably way wrong, and somebody that knows it better than I do is probably laughing right now.
So what's your best squirrel dog been? Which one?
Probably, as a squirrel dog, probably Stormy. Stormy, he was 100% accurate. I mean, don't get me wrong, he trees den trees or big old bushy tree, couldn't find a squirrel, but I promise you there's a squirrel in that tree. I killed a lot of squirrels with that dog. I think the first hunt I ever won with him, it was I want to say it was an NKC hunt where they have a hour hunt in the morning, hour hunt in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
And I went 8 for 8 with him in an hour cast. That's when he was 2 years old. He was looking pretty good. But he's the one that kind of got the bug in me to start competition squirrel hunting, and I kept him till he was. I got rid of Stormy. This year, Stormy would be coming 9, and he still could hunt, but he just didn't have the. He didn't have that where he could go. He couldn't go. He couldn't hunt against a like a spike or nothing anymore. He just didn't have the energy for it. But you could still take Stormy out and tree 6, 7 squirrels with him. And me and my dad, we're just type of people. We like to try to get people involved with hunting, and he decided to make somebody a good deal on him. He made somebody a really good deal of Stormy, Southern Oklahoma, and they love him. Heck, they send us pictures and videos of him. Hell, I think Stormy lives inside their house now. He's living better than he did here, which we got nice kennels here, but he's inside.
Yeah.
Stormy was actually, we got Stormy when he was 9 months old from a guy, and where did Dad go to? I want to say Stormy was because Dad went and picked him up. He was, I know he met the guy somewhere on the other side of St. Louis and bought him sight unseen. He was 9 months old as a starter dog, and hunted him. He had tree a squirrel, uh, but he just wasn't, finished all. Heck, he was only 9 months old, but he tree a squirrel. But Dwayne Holland took him
Mm-hmm.
in Arkansas. Dwayne Holland hunted him. Dwayne Holland used to get dogs ready for me, especially Stormy. Especially he'd get him in shape, get him ready for me. But Dwayne Holland took him for about 30 days because I was busy at the time, and told Dad, man, he's a pretty good little squirrel dog, and it was over. It was over after that. He made a dandy of a squirrel dog.
Yeah. Yeah, Dwayne's pretty good with them.
Dwayne is, man. I recommend Dwayne.
Mm-hmm.
You can't find nobody as honest like that wants to hunt a dog for you. I could take a pup to Dwayne Holland and that kind of started, and Dwayne will call you 2 weeks in and say, hey, man, you got another one. This one ain't going to make it. I don't want to take your money of a dog that don't want to hunt. Yeah, I've had so much success with him.
Mm-hmm.
You can't ask for somebody to be honest with you like that. He's 100% honest.
Yeah.
He don't want you to waste your money on a dog that's not going to make it.
Yeah, I've heard jokes about them dog hunting preachers out of Arkansas, but the ones them jokes are about ain't Dwayne. I'm sure of that.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And I think Dwayne's hunted a few dogs for you, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. He has. He's hunted a few different dogs for me at different times. Which the first nice squirrel dog I had came from Dwayne. I bought her as a puppy from him back when I was in college. Back, I don't know, it probably would have been 2009 or so. Uh, and then I had her. She was 6 or 7 months old, and took an internship in Detroit that summer. And so instead of taking her to Detroit with me, I took old Dixie down to Dwayne and had him hunt her for me for the summer. And he had her treeing for me by the time I got back down there. So, but besides that, I've had him hunt a few dogs for me other times too. He's always done me right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we are starting to get a little bit close to being out of time. Got any other stories or anything else you want to talk about, Ricky?
You know, one thing I would say is if anybody's got any interest in the squirrel hunting, come to one of our competition hunts. We'll put you on a cast, spectate, and we'll show you what it's about. Try to get you involved. I love to grow it. When you see the same 9, 10, 11 dogs every weekend, it's not that he gets old. I love hunting with them guys, but some new faces sure would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Especially younger guys and gals. I mean, there ain't nothing funner to get a kid started. I've helped a lot out with Lane in Okema. He has a youth hunt he puts on, and I enjoy going to that thing. I always get to guide his little girl, and let me tell you, fellas, I think Lottie's probably 11 or 12 years old. She's fixing to start whooping us grown men in these hunts. She's got it down. If her dog's barking out there, she's like I said, that's the first time she ever done it. I don't think Lottie was probably 9 or 10 years old. And you hear a dog kind of squeak, bark, and she's like, all right. She's like, everybody stop walking, stop. And by the time dog let out a big old locate, she said, tree my dog. And I just smiled from ear to ear listening to that little girl do that. You know how she wanted everybody. She was good, boy. That little girl's funny.
Definitely got to help the kids and the youth. I mean, without it, the way the legislation and the way the anti hunters are coming after rights and everything, I know it's not too much in Oklahoma, but it's going on everywhere else. It's going to get here, and the only way we keep our sport alive is by introducing kids and educating people that hunting with dogs isn't some boogeyman tactic. It's honestly harder work than it is about any other way whenever you figure all things included.
Yep, you're right.
Most days, I guarantee you, I could go out and slip through the woods and shoot a limit of squirrels pretty quick. Trying to get a dog to find them all for you is a whole lot harder, especially when you got to feed that dog every day, take care of it and everything else.
Well, I don't know how many times, I don't know about you, but how many times you wouldn't kill a limit out with a dog here in Oklahoma?
uh, with two people killing two man. I don't know that I've ever killed the 2-man limit in Oklahoma. I don't think I've ever killed the 1-man solo either.
I've killed one 2-man limit one time. Yeah, we hunted all day long, and it was right. It was on one of them competitions having who can kill the most squirrels, and we
One of them
hunted our
derbies.
tails off.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we had 3 good squirrel dogs that day. And it's different than sitting underneath the pecan tree and popping them in the head with a 22.
Mm-hmm.
But it sure is fun watch a dog that you train work and do its thing.
Yep, that's what it's all about.
One thing I'm going to say is about that youth hunt, what Lane does. I want to say Lane had, and I could be lying, I'm going to say there was 20 kids there at this youth hunt. And I think only probably 9 or 10, maybe 11 hunted in the hunt. But we had a training competition. You had it all for those kids. And I'd like to know how many kids got them a squirrel dog after that, because I know they were like, hey, the dad's calling me or Lane, hey, where can I find a good squirrel dog for my daughter, my son? It was fun. You should come to this next one. Bring your babies, even if they're young. Bring them. Lane does so much work to get sponsorship, get stuff donated. Every kid will go home with stuff. I think he gave away 2 or 3 guns this year. It's awesome. It's awesome to be a part.
No, Lane's a good dude. He's a good one. I sure like him.
Oh yes, he is. He's something else.
Yep. Well, that's about as much time as we got for tonight. Ricky, I want to thank you again for coming on here and doing this with me. I want to apologize to you and everybody listening both. Life's kind of got a hold of me lately, and I didn't have time to prepare for this as much as I'd really wanted to. So it might be a little more scatterbrained all over the place than normal, but hopefully y'all don't just block me and quit listening. So,
well, buddy, I'm driving down the highway coming home from work, so I apologize too.
oh, you did fine. But all right, everybody. Well, take care and keep wearing out that boot leather. I just want to give everyone that's listening a sincere thank you. Getting this podcast going has been a project. I really hope you're enjoying it, and if you don't mind, give the show a good rating and review wherever you're listening to it at, or share it on your social media to help get some traction. I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to your feedback.